My name is Nick Stanczyk. I grew up here at Marina. My dad has owned it since 1978 and been here a long time fishing. I don't remember the exact first time I went fishing, but I do have a picture with my dad on the boat. We're holding up a yellowtail snapper about yay big. Fishing was always something that we did as a family, all my friends growing up. And when I was a little boy, fishing with my dad and my uncle, a little bit with my brother, just whether it was offshore or backcountry, we did it all. And after school, a lot of days, every weekend, all summer long. We used to fish here off the docks as kids. And then probably about 20 years ago, we stopped fishing on the dock because one day, Colby Mason, he hooked a tarpon and jumped into a backcountry guy's boat. And after that, my dad said no more fishing the marina. And now 20 years later, there's lots of tarpon here, there's snappers, there's sharks, and it's a little sanctuary for them. And it's cool to look at, it's part of the atmosphere. But every time I had a chance to fish as a kid, I always did. I loved all types of fishing when I was younger, but when I was in college, we started doing a lot of daytime sword fishing, and that was one fish that I became obsessed with. They're big, they're strong, they jump, they were elusive, not a lot of people had caught them, and that's what I became known for. I started taking charters for them when I was a young age there, and I still love fishing for them to this very day. When I was a kid, I kind of always liked marine biology and loved the ocean and the fish and stuff like that. I went to college, and after a week I realized marine biology wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be. I love fishing and that part, but not so much the science, and didn't really see myself having a career in that field. Then I switched gears and moved over to video and film, and part of me always wanted to have a fishing TV show. Fast forward a few years later, I graduated college. I always fished, worked on the weekends. I'd come back and forth from Miami, run charters on the side during the summers and winter breaks. And then, 10 years ago compared to now is a huge difference. We have a YouTube show the last 4 years. Last year we started our own brand, travel around doing speaking engagements and seminars, and I share this passion of fishing with a lot of people now, and I hope to inspire a lot more people to fish. Like when I was a kid, my family getting me involved, I hope to get more and more people involved, whether it's big game fishing or, fishing just with their family, catching small fish off a dock or off a seawall, whatever. And there's a lot of people out there that love to fish, and I'm just glad I get to share that passion with people. Budmer is always a family business. There's been generation after generation of people fishing here. You see these, what I always refer to as the old timers, when their children start fishing, they become mates, they become captains. And since I grew up here and was just always part of it, I never thought of anything being super special, but seeing these people here now that I've been fishing, I've been a captain, I'm 37 now, I got my license when I was 18, so going on 20 years and 19 years I've been taking charters, but I've fished people for nearly 20 years myself, and I get to see these families come here year after year after year, and so many other captains get to do that too. Whether it's Alex Adler or Paul Ross or my uncle Scott on the Catch-22, or some of the backcountry guides, it just becomes a destination where these people, they take their families, they go fishing every year, and people look forward to it because they get to hear the same stories, and people email me pictures like, 20, 30 years ago I was there fishing it. And that's cool to see because not only do we get to have that family atmosphere of growing up here and seeing each generation as the captains and mates, progress, but you get to see it with your customers and your clientele, and they become sort of an extended family, and it's just really neat to see, people keep coming back here and showing them a good time. And fishing has changed and evolved, and but we just kind of try to stay on top of it and, keep the good times coming. I have a lot of fish stories, not as many as my dad. Mine may be a little more truthful, but, you never let the truth get in the way of a good fishing story. But I fished with a lot of people over the years. If I had to pick one story, one fish that stood out that we caught, it would be the giant swordfish we got 3 years ago, 757 pounds. It was an 8-hour battle, and had Bill and Debbie out there. It was the first time they've ever swordfished. Had Connor Ross with me, and that was a big giant fish. We won't ever forget that one. Definitely a lifelong memory there. And hopefully we'll catch a bigger one one day. I don't know if we ever will, but if we don't, we'll take that one to the grave and be pretty happy with it. Home is always home, I think, no matter where you're from, but we have 2 little girls now, Sarah and I, and hopefully they'll be raised here, and it's a pretty safe atmosphere and environment, and I just want to share that same passion of fishing and boating with them, and whether or not they ever become fishing captains is up to them, but hopefully they'll enjoy living in the Keys and have the same fun and enjoyment and passions that I have. What does Nick Stanczyk do in his free time? I don't really have much free time, I'll say that. I'm probably a workaholic. Everybody thinks that you just go fishing, but that's just a small part of the business of the equation. You know, you're always working on the boats, whether you're changing oil, doing tackle work, fixing something on the boat. 4 years ago, I started, editing YouTube videos, and that's a full-time job in itself, and I want to succeed in that, so I put a lot of time and effort into that. But no matter what you do with your time, as you get older, you realize your time is your most valuable asset. I got Capt Mike Varney. He's been running my boat a lot lately, the 42 Freeman, and 6 years ago, I got into the Freemans, I think maybe almost 6.5 years ago. Before that, though, and some of you guys watching this, you probably fished with me when we were on the old Crusader. We used to go 14 or 15 knots, and we're the most reasonably priced boat here, in the marina. Now we're the most expensive boat, but we have the nicest boat. We got the best equipment. We go the furthest out there. We put in the longest days, so a lot of that plays a role into it. And, I've had some people like the Thompson family. They fished with me for probably going on 12 or 14 years, some of my longest clients. And, they're more than just customers. They're friends, family friends. If they needed me, I'd help them out. And if I needed help, they'd help me out. So it's really cool to have people that you fish for, and fish with that long to see where they turn up and how they wind up. The Florida Keys have changed a lot the last 30 years, especially the last 10 to 15 years. There's a lot more big corporate here, buying up the marinas, the hotels, the businesses. I don't see ourselves ever selling the marina. I hope that you guys can come down here and get to experience. We got hotel rooms here, we got houseboats here. If you want to step off the beaten path and see something pretty cool, whether you're a diehard fisherman or just want to take your kids out there and do something different, or your friends, your family, your wife, whatever, your parents, come on down here and check it out. There's 25 backcountry guides here that go inshore fishing in shallow water. There's 17 offshore boats that go offshore to the reefs and deep blue water. Our focus is sword fishing, so me and a couple other boats here do that. Mike Varney, he mates with me when I fish, and he runs the boat half the time too. But come down here and check it out and see what you think. Come down here and hang out for a few days. I'm Nick Stanczyk, and thanks for watching.